against all odds, I don't know why we want to take the hardest road. I don't know why the man above gives me the hardest road, but it's nothing the man above don't put you in situations that you can't handle. And I just kept that same positive attitude, like instead of saying why me, they're saying this is what he want me to do. And Cleveland, this is for you.
Powered by Riverside FM.
Powered by Riverside.
Welcome to Unconventional Playbook. I'm your host, Lionel Jones. The video that you saw is probably, well, not probably, it's the greatest sports moment in the history of Cleveland sports, at least since I've been around. Like I've said before on many of occasions, I'm 51 years old. We've had nothing but disappointments in Cleveland in terms of our sports franchises coming close, but no cigar. And that was a moment where LeBron James delivered the goods against the Golden State Warriors in 2016. What a fantastic memory that was. Cleveland, this is for you. I mean, that was epic. I know just being from the city of Cleveland, what that meant to the city of Cleveland, what LeBron James brought, the magnitude of that. And it just shows you the greatness of LeBron James. You know, a lot of people that know me personally know I'm not a huge LeBron James fan, but it showed you all the shortcomings that Cleveland sports has had, getting past the jinx, whether or not you feel like there's a jinx or not. But there's been so many disappointments that for his greatness to shine through like that and to beat arguably one of the best teams in the history of the NBA at the time, the Golden State Warriors, where they were at their peak, to be able to do that in Golden State, iconic moment for the city of Cleveland and LeBron James. I have always been one to argue LeBron James has been a mercenary to a lot of different franchises. And what I mean by that, he's a hitman for hire. You know, Miami couldn't get it done. And so LeBron James took his talents to South Beach and won them a ring. Once the Cleveland Cavaliers started to be on the come up with Kyrie Irving, LeBron James came back, and then eventually he left again for the Los Angeles Lakers. And I've just always thought, you know, he's won rings in all three stops. I have just felt like rather than the quantity of rings that LeBron James would bring to the table at the end of his career, his one ring, his one championship in Cleveland arguably means the most out of all of them. And I think when it's all said and done, looking back at his legacy, that is going to be the championship that people look at the most as being the best championship. It's going to be better than the bubble with the Los Angeles Lakers. I know there's a lot of people out there that think that that's not even a real chip. I don't know if I agree with that, but there's a lot of sports writers, a lot of people out there that follow this thing and analyze this thing thoroughly, and they look at the bubble championship as not really a championship. Personally, I think that's a lot of hate just to try to take something away from the Lakers and LeBron, but I can kind of see the argument. There was no home court advantage. There were no fans. It was just a different kind of environment. The championships that he won with the Miami Heat were well earned. I mean, Bosh and Dwayne Wade, but it was kind of the first super team. No one had really done that before. I know there are people who say, well, the Chicago Bulls, when Michael Jordan was there, they had Tony Kukoc, they had Dennis Rodman, they had all those guys. But that team, I can't say that it wasn't formed purposely, because the Chicago Bulls organization put that together, but it wasn't at the time looked at as a super team. Chris Bosh was one of the best power forwards in the league. Dwayne Wayne was one of the best players in the league, and now you add LeBron James, you can see why that was looked at as a super team with the Miami Heat. And so I think when you look at those championships that he won there, it's not like they weren't earned, but it was a little tainted. It's almost like the Kevin Durant situation when he went to Golden State Warriors. He won those chips. He was MVP in a lot of those series, but he joined a team that was already established, and he joined a team that was already winning. So their argument about someone like Kevin Durant is go do it on your own. If you're that great of a player, go do it on your own, and he's yet to be able to do that. I think it kind of is the same situation with LeBron James. He joined two powerful forces at the time, so I think there's always going to be that little tainting of those championships as well. But the one in Cleveland, the place that he left and came back, a team that wasn't that good before he arrived with Kyrie Irving, but they were on the come up, ended up adding Kevin Love and winning a championship there, coming back down from 3-1. I think that there's just value in that championship. And I've always said LeBron James probably would not have won as many championships if he would have stayed in Cleveland. I would argue that he would have at least 2 championships in Cleveland. But those two championships would mean more than whatever amount of championships that he would end up with. And I think it's ultimately going to hurt his legacy jumping around from team to team. The reason why I bring this up is this is getting interesting. LeBron James, at the last Cleveland Cavaliers playoff game against the Boston Celtics, was seen in the front row with his wife, bottle of wine underneath his seat. And so people are speculating, why is LeBron at a Cleveland Cavalier playoff game? When's the last time LeBron James been at a Cavalier basketball game? Now, according to LeBron's people, it wasn't a trip just for the game. They were in town for Mother's Day, visiting their moms, and they decided to take in the basketball game. But he arrived fashionably late, so everyone could see him walk into the arena. What's the purpose? LeBron James doesn't do anything without purpose. LeBron James craves attention. So he knew, arriving at that venue at that time, all eyes were going to be on him, and everybody was going to wonder, what's LeBron James doing here? Why is he at a Cleveland Cavalier basketball game? This happens to coincide with Bronny being at the NBA Combine. And it has been stated that LeBron James has said his wish before he retires is to what? Play with his son. Second part of this, he hasn't committed to the Lakers yet. He hasn't opted in yet. The Lakers arguably did not end the season the way they want to because they just got rid of his coach, Darvin Ham, and now they're looking at searching for a new coach. Budenholzer just signed a contract with the Suns, so he's off the table. And the name that keeps floating around is LeBron James's buddy and partner in their little media venture, J.J. Redick. LeBron James' wheels are turning. I have always speculated that from afar, he's always been attracted to the Cavaliers team for the past few years. The Cavaliers, although not world beaters, they've created a team, Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen, those guys. They've created a team that can compete in the NBA, and that's been doing pretty well. What do you think that team would look like if they added LeBron James to the current Cleveland Cavalier team? I would argue that they would probably be number one in the East, ahead of Milwaukee, ahead of the Sixers, ahead of the Boston Celtics. It's easier to make it to the chip if you go East. If you look at the West, Suns didn't have a great year, didn't end the way they wanted, but they're on the come up. Oklahoma City's on the come up. The Minnesota Timberwolves are on the come up. You got the Denver Nuggets. Don't sleep on the Golden State Warriors. You got the Sacramento Kings. You got Dallas. I mean, you got a lot of teams out west that's on the come up. East, not that daunting. The East is not that daunting. LeBron James's wheels are turning. And I have a feeling that he's trying to put something in place. Now, I'm not saying he's coming back to Cleveland, but here's what I do know. I know he's thinking about it. I know he's looking at that team full of young guns, and he's thinking about it. Another thing that I know is that because he has the urge to play with his son, I know the Cleveland Cavaliers are thinking about drafting Bronny James. Oh, they're not going to say it out in the public. They're not going to go on TV and hint at it. They're not going to let anyone know. But I guarantee they're thinking about it. The Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron James are thinking about a homecoming. Here's my question. Do you do it if you're Cleveland? See, to me, this is like a relationship. It's like any relationship that you would have in a normal life setting. The Cleveland Cavaliers are in this relationship with LeBron James. LeBron James, once the relationship started, and it was a pretty good relationship, decided to pack his bags and leave for another franchise, while keeping an eye on what he left. He got bored and found out what he went to was starting to go downhill. So he came back home, knocked on the door, and asked the Cleveland Cavaliers, please take me back. The Cleveland Cavaliers did. The relationship was good, even better than the first time. But then he saw something else that he liked walking down the street. The Los Angeles Lakers. And again, the Cleveland Cavaliers didn't learn the first time. They were left at the altar by LeBron James. And he went and started a relationship with the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, the relationship with the Los Angeles Lakers, like with the Miami Heat, started off really good. Lots of good things, happy. But while he's in that relationship, he's keeping an eye on what he left. Now things are not so good with the Los Angeles Lakers. They're almost in foreclosure. Their bills being due. Cars are getting repossessed. The happy household is not as happy as it used to be. And he's looking back at what he left. And now he's interested again. The other night when he was at the Cleveland Cavaliers game, that's him driving past his old house to see what the yard looks like, to see what the landscaping looks like, to see what the curb appeal is of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And sooner or later, especially if things aren't going to be what he thought they were going to be in Los Angeles, there's going to be a knock at the door of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And it's going to be LeBron James. And he's going to say, will you take me back? If you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, do you take him back? You're talking about the man that gave you arguably your city's best sports moment in a long time. Think about the disappointments. Think about the drive, Cleveland Browns. Think about the fumble of the Cleveland Browns. Think about the ninth inning in the World Series for the Cleveland Indians. Think about those moments. LeBron James's moment down 3-1 to the Golden State Warriors came back and won the chip. He left you twice, and now he's at the door for a third time. Do you pull back the curtains? Do you keep the chain on the door and just open it a little bit? If you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, do you have some pride and just say, no more? No. Or do you go to the well one last time if you're the Cavaliers? Whew. I don't think there's any right or wrong answer. I'm just interested to see how this plays out. Honestly, we keep it real here on the UP. I think you got to think about answering that door. But I'm a very prideful guy. How many times are you going to make a fool out of me? How many times are you going to spurn me for somebody else? How many times are you going to come to me to help enhance your legacy? Because if he were to come to the Cavs, this is going to be his last run. He ain't going nowhere after the Cleveland Cavaliers. If the Cleveland Cavaliers uses their first round pick on Bronny James, it's a done deal. LeBron James is coming. He's coming. And for all intents and purposes, the reports that were coming out of the combine is he shot the ball better than really anybody at the combine. He's bulked up. He's gained some weight. He's getting his body ready for the NBA. What would you do? If you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, would you go to the well one more time? Wow, it's a tough decision. I can't wait to see how it plays out. This is Unconventional Playbook. Bit of news. One thing that we're going to do coming here in the future is we've had a great response. Lots of subscribers. We're totally pumped about that. And to give back to our fans and our subscribers a little bit, what we're going to do is we have an idea. We're going to have you pick episode topics. So put in the comments something that you would like for me to explore or something that you would like for me to talk about. We're going to go through the comments and we're going to pick the best one, and we're going to dedicate a show to it just to give back to the UP Nation, fans that listen to the show, people that want us to discuss or talk about a sports-related topic. And it doesn't have to be a sports-related topic. If it's good, we're going to sift through the comments and find the best one. And it's something that we're going to do a little bit more often. You guys get an opportunity to produce the show. That's going to be a lot of fun. Lots of news coming up this week. I can't wait to continue to make real good episodes with good content. We are definitely looking forward to it. Keep hitting that like and subscribe button. This thing is growing super fast, and I can't thank you guys enough. So like and subscribe. Put your comments in the comments, and we'll look at those every day. Some of them I'll read on the air. and show you some love if you got something really, really good to say. This has been Lionel Jones on the UP under conventional playbook. Under conventional playbook. Man, my mind is going 1,000 miles per hour. Unconventional playbook. We will see you next time on the UP.
Powered by Riverside.